I'm Sawood, a web and data scientist of Wayback machine at the Internet Archive. And what you see on my screen is the help text of a tool called CDX Summary. And in my current working directory, I have a file called sample.cdx.gz, which is a compressed index of a bunch of web archive files. But we don't know what was in those web archive files or Warc files. Hopefully, when we run this index through our CDX summary tool, we'll get to know what is inside in there. So I'm going to run this command here, and will take a while to complete. So we'll come back to it later. Let's go to Internet Archive's homepage. Here we see a bunch of collections listed. Some are collections of books and audio and video. Some are web collections. Let's open one of these collections. And in this case, it is Ukrainian cultural heritage collection. You scroll through this collection, you see some interesting, colorful thumbnails, some meaningful titles, and you have a rough idea of what to see, what to get in this collection. Now, let's go to a web collection, which is a collection of Warc files. An arbitrary number of web captures are packaged together. And in this case, we see a list of tombstones here as thumbnails. And titles look very similar, as if they were generated by machine. It doesn't tell a lot. There is an About tab in this collection view, but we don't see much. There are a few lines of metadata here, and that's all. And this is the problem that we are going to solve here. In the next few days or weeks, when the testing is done and the changes are merged to the main site, this page will look something like this. We'll get to know how many captures are in this collection, how many unique URIs were captured, how many of those URIs belong to, say, HTML pages with 200 OK responses, for example, or how many of those URLs have 0 paths and 0 queries, that is root pages, versus deep links. We can also get temporal spread of the collection. So this collection started in 2016 and stopped there, no activity in 2017, and then it started again 2018. And since then, it has been constantly archiving every single month. Then we also have a bunch of top hosts that are contributing to this collection with maximum number of captures. And one cool thing that the tool brings up is a bunch of sample URIs from this collection. So Warc files are a bundle of a number of URIs that you don't know what is inside in there. And this allows us to kind of click on one of these links and see how well those pages were archived. So it helps us doing QA, for example. All these numbers up here, they also allow us to gain insights and learn sometimes if the numbers are really off. We learn like there was some problem in our crawling process and we go back and fix it. So how this whole page was rendered is basically backed by a JSON file. And this JSON file is generated using a command line tool called CDX Summary. And we have open sourced this tool. So you can use this tool to generate human readable summaries or machine readable JSON files. And if you have a JSON file, you can render it in HTML using this web component that we made available. So with that, let's go back to the command line and see what happened to the local CDX file that we had. And it turned out it did generate a very nice human readable summary of the CDX index that we had. Now we get to know what is inside in there, when it was captured and how many captures are there and so on and so forth. And we can even click on one of these links to open them in a browser and see how it was archived. But by demonstrating it on command line, what we really illustrated is this tool is not tied to Internet Archive. It is an independent tool, actually. We are just using an Internet Archive. Anyone can use it in their own web archival collection. So with that, I will recap. We basically created a command line tool and a companion web component to summarize the web collections. We released these tools under open source license. And we use these tools to enrich our own web collections. We gain insights from generated stats to improve our crawlers. Finally, we demonstrated that these tools are not exclusive to the Internet Archive. So anyone can use them to their own web archival collections and learn more about what they are archiving. With that, I will see you in QA, and thank you so much for listening.